Pantheon AI presents 17 billion SpaceX deal sends EchoStar soaring plus Oracle earnings anticipation. Welcome to the PAI Morning Briefing. I'm John, your host from Pantheon AI, and today is September 8th, 2025. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning, John, and good morning to everyone listening. I'm Sarah, and I hope you're all ready for a really insightful conversation today. We're going to dig into the latest news, market data, and what it all means.
Absolutely. So let's start with a quick look at the markets. Things are pretty quiet on the surface. The S&P 500 is almost flat, down just a tiny fraction, sitting around 64.94.
Right, and it's a similar story for the Dow Jones, which is at about 45,354, and the Nasdaq around 21,800. Both are down just a fraction of a percent. It's almost like the market is holding its breath.
It really is. But, it's interesting. The digital asset space is showing a bit more life. Bitcoin is up almost 1%, trading around $112,000, and Ethereum is seeing a similar bump, near 4,300.
Despite these really modest shifts in the major indexes, it feels like the market is trying to tell us something subtle, almost like a whisper saying, rise slowly, but keep moving forward. And I think that's really the theme for today, isn't it? Sometimes the biggest stories are hidden in the smallest changes.
That's a great point, because under that calm surface, investors seem cautiously optimistic. We're seeing a lot of volatility in individual stocks, especially in the tech and communication sectors. It feels like the tech world is in the middle of adapting to new product cycles and a lot of M&A activity.
And we all know that when tech stocks start to stir, it creates ripples everywhere else, from finance to energy. It's almost poetic how these companies are restructuring and reinventing themselves, even with all these macroeconomic headwinds.
It reminds me of trying to build one of those DIY bookshelves. At first, the pieces look like a total mess, nothing like the instructions. But if you persist, eventually it all comes together into something beautiful. The market feels a bit like that right now.
I love that analogy. It's so true. Well, speaking of pieces coming together, let's dive into the top stories because there are some massive moves happening. First up, EchoStar. This is huge.
Huge is an understatement. They've clinched a $17 billion spectrum deal with SpaceX. I mean, you heard that right. $17 billion. The news has sent EchoStar's stock soaring.
And it's not just about EchoStar. This is a massive vote of confidence in the entire satellite communications sector. It's really exciting for the future of global connectivity. So what's next on the M&A front?
Sticking with the theme of big tech moves, SentinelOne has announced plans to acquire Observo AI. For anyone not deep in the cybersecurity world, SentinelOne is a rising star, and this move is all about revamping security systems with advanced AI-native technology.
So it's like your favorite antivirus software is about to get a major brain upgrade. I love it. It really signals that AI is becoming the new frontier in cybersecurity, forcing everyone to innovate faster.
Exactly, and the acquisition train keeps rolling. Presidio is also making headlines, buying transACT technology solutions to accelerate its expansion into the UK and Ireland. It really underscores this trend of digital transformation going global.
It's a smart move. It shows that even in turbulent times, there are huge opportunities in collaboration and strategic expansion. It's a reminder of how interconnected everything is becoming.
Speaking of things to watch, Wall Street is eagerly gearing up for Oracle's earnings report. The big question is whether they can sustain their impressive cloud performance from last year. The anticipation is really high on this one.
Definitely. And that brings us to the biggest question mark of all, looming over the entire market. What should investors expect after the Federal Reserve meets this September? All eyes are on interest rates.
Right, and history tells us that even if the Fed does cut rates, it doesn't always mean an immediate market rally. The reaction can be much more nuanced. It's like trying to mix the perfect cocktail. You have to balance all the ingredients just right, or the flavor goes off.
That's the perfect way to put it. When you pull all these stories together, EchoStar's bold deal, SentinelOne's AI push, Presidio's global move, Oracle's earnings, and the Fed's decision, it really paints a picture of a dynamic, complex corporate world. It's an intriguing tapestry for investors to decode.
It really is. And if we look at the sectors, tech continues to be the heart of it all. I like to picture the tech sector as an energetic dance floor. Companies are twirling. Sometimes they step on each other's toes, but they always keep moving to the beat. And M&A deals are like finding the perfect dance partner.
And that energy is spilling into telecommunications, too, led by that massive EchoStar deal we mentioned. We're moving towards a future of seamless, space-based connectivity that could revolutionize everything. It's sparking so many conversations.
Then you have cybersecurity, which is undergoing its own rapid transformation. SentinelOne's move to integrate AI is like upgrading from a simple lock and key to a sophisticated biometric security system. What seemed like science fiction a decade ago is now essential.
And on the international front, Presidio's move shows how decisions made in Silicon Valley or New York now resonate in London, Dublin, and all across the globe. The markets are more interconnected than ever.
Which brings us back to the Fed. It's a bit like a cloudy day that promises rain. You might see a few drops at first, but the real downpour could take a while to set in. The market's reaction might not be immediate, and that's something investors need to be prepared for.
It's so true. I once heard someone joke that trying to predict market movements is like predicting the weather in a city known for sudden storms. You bring an umbrella, you trust your gut, but sometimes you still get soaked. And that's part of the adventure, right?
Haha, exactly. And experts are saying that all these strategic moves we're seeing, EchoStar, SentinelOne, aren't just about short-term gains. They're about long-term strategic positioning. They're shaping the future landscape of their industries.
Absolutely. It reminds us that the devil is in the details. A tiny percentage change in an index doesn't tell the whole story. You have to look closer, like examining the fine brushstrokes on a painting, to see what's really happening underneath.
And while we focused on tech, we can't ignore other sectors like energy and finance. The energy sector is in a constant dance with policy and geopolitics, and financial services are trying to balance traditional risk with new fintech innovations. It's a transformation happening everywhere.
So, as we start to wrap up, the key takeaway for me is that despite the quiet indexes, the underlying market is buzzing with deep, strategic changes. And this leaves us with some big questions to ponder, doesn't it?
It sure does. How will the Fed's decision really affect investor sentiment? Will Oracle deliver on those sky-high cloud expectations? And could SentinelOne's AI integration become a model for other industries? These are the dilemmas investors are facing.
Exactly. Think about the long-term implications. Does the EchoStar SpaceX deal signal a new era of partnerships? As AI becomes central to security, what other sectors need to adopt that mindset? Every headline is a piece of a much larger story.
And that's why being informed is so critical. Our goal here at Pantheon AI is to be your information co-pilot, helping you connect those dots and navigate the twists and turns so you can make more informed decisions.
Well said, John, and a huge thank you to our audience for tuning in. Your curiosity is what drives us. Be sure to join us again tomorrow as we continue to track these trends.
That's all for now. Until next time, keep thinking, keep questioning, and invest wisely. The next big opportunity could be just around the corner.
Pantheon AI, your information co-pilot.
Because learning shouldn't feel like a full-time job. Take care and see you next time.